Member of Parliament Omar Otley says he doesn't agree with how the penal code was forced on us. 2 persons shot in Suckle Garden. But first up, former Commissioner of Police Derek Holliday passes away. Those are the headlines for Tuesday, March the 10th, 2020. This is SXM Daily News. I'm Valerie Van Putten. Now for the details. The St. Martin community is today mourning the passing of former Commissioner of Police Derek Holliday. He died in the Cayman Islands following surgery Monday morning. The late Holliday, who served as law enforcement officer for many years in the then Netherlands Antilles, became the Chief Commissioner of Police in the Windward Islands, St. Martin, St. Eustatius, and Saba, following his retirement of his predecessor, the late Walter Kramers, on Wednesday, October the 27th in 1999. He served as Chief of Police until Tuesday, February the 5th in 2008, when he was arrested at his home in Oyster Pond on suspicion of forgery. Holliday, who would have celebrated his birthday in April, died 35 days shy of his 65th year. As an avid sportsman, Derek Holliday was the captain of the Rams Cricket Club, Media Houses Cricket, who eventually became the president of the St. Martin Cricket Association. He was also an average table tennis player as well. The late Holliday left to mourn many persons in the community, including his brother, the governor of St. Martin, His Excellency Dr. Anders Eugene B. Holliday. Speaking to the Voice of St. Martin's news department, the Chief of Police, Carl John, stated that he and the deceased had a good working relationship and that Mr. Holliday always made it his business to fight for the police force of St. Martin as well as the people who worked with him. Because of people like Mr. Holliday, we still have a police force that we can build on, the police chief told the news department. Meanwhile, the former police spokesman and Chief Inspector Ricardo Hansen described as good his working relationship with the late Holliday, which dated back to the 1980s.
First, send out my heartfelt condolences from me, my family, the police force, to the family of Mr. Holliday. I worked with Mr. Holliday actually from 2003 when I was the head of internal affairs in the police corps. And I must say, it's the type of person that I really enjoyed working with, someone straightforward and fair. Naturally, Mr. Holliday had the same problem that we all as chiefs of police of these small islands has, and that is that because of a small country and a small police force, everybody knows you, so when you have to be fair and sometimes give news that people don't want to hear, and automatically you're treated as bad. But Mr. Holliday, I must say, gained much respect from me and a lot of other colleagues that really know the facts, and that has to do with the manner that he always fight for the police force of St. Martin and also fight for the people who work there. I must say, because of people like Mr. Holliday, we still have a police force that we can build on. So the basis, the ground was laid out for us to move forward with the police force, and for that I think Mr. Holliday deserves much more respect than he received in the past years.
I've heard the sad news this morning. Of course, I want to extend a deepest sympathy to his family and his friends. Mr. Holliday and I go quite a way back, all the way back in the early 80s when I came back from Curacao to St. Martin to work. And we have had a very good working relationship, and he has been very instrumental in moving himself forward and trying to build a very good police organization. So him and I go a good way back. He's a very nice person. He was, a very nice person, and he has done quite a bit to improve the police department of St. Martin.
How well do you remember the late Holiday as a colleague, friend, working with him at the time that he was appointed to the position of Chief of Police?
During the period that when the police force was still the police force of the Netherlands Antilles, I remember when the police force started to become a little bit more independent, and it came the police department of St. Martin, Sabre, and Statia, and then we separated and it became the police department of the Windward Islands, and then that of St. Martin. So it keeps changing, and that I would say I knew him as a chief, and in Curacao we worked as patrol officers together until he went to Holland and studied to become an inspector, and then he grew from there to become the chief commissioner of police in St. Martin.
The board of the United People's Party, UP, on Monday said that despite months of creating negative and false impressions about its founder, Theo Heiliger, the prosecutor's office did not present any physical evidence of wrongdoing by Heiliger in the so-called Laramar case on Monday. Instead, the board said that the prosecutor managed to do was put nefarious dealings among Dutch contractors operating on St. Martin and their efforts to manipulate the system on full display. The UP board said that while charges against Heiliger are frivolous and with no grounds, the person that the prosecutor made into a crown witness is getting away with defrauding St. Martin and its people while being the architect behind corrupt practices among Dutch construction firms. This crowned witness, Maasdam, according to what was presented in court, made over $10 million and never paid a cent in taxes. He admitted in court to never having filed for taxes in 30 years, and some of the money earned was to finance a drug habit. Every cent was transferred to his offshore companies. He made millions through projects in St. Martin, reportedly owned one home on French St. Martin, one in Spain, and one in Holland. He brought in two lawyers, a criminal attorney who is asking the prosecutor for a better deal than he already received, and a financial attorney who is trying to spin that he doesn't owe St. Martin anything. And Theo is who they are trying to crucify. This is an incredible witch hunt using an unreliable and not credible witness, the UP party board said. It is also clear, the board said, that prosecutors and their crown witness are misconstruing words used by Heiliger. They said that Theo said on occasion that his people have to eat too. Of course he did. He always does. Theo is known for telling these lead contractors that smaller local contractors must get work as well. That is his way of ensuring his people and our people participate in the development of this country. On many occasions, the crown witness himself called Theo a visioneer, and without Theo, the country would not have gone that far. Maasdam himself said that, according to the UP board. And two persons are shot in Sucker Garden on Monday evening, March the 9th, approximately 7:50 p.m. The dispatch center received several calls concerning a shooting that took place on the Pendant Cactus Drive in Sucker Garden area. In a house on the Pendant Cactus Drive, the police patrol and personnel of the ambulance department encountered a male and a female victim who were both suffering from gunshot wounds. The patrol noticed that the male victim had sustained a gunshot wound to his chest, while the female victim was shot in her upper body. The victims, with the initials JJB and AMS, were stabilized on the scene by the paramedics and then rushed to the St. Martin Medical Center in critical condition. Shortly after the shooting incident, a male suspect with initials JAB, who is a minor, turned himself in to the police. He told the officers that he was involved in the shooting that had taken place in Sucker Garden earlier. The suspect was immediately arrested and handed over to the detective department for further investigation. Later in the evening, the police were notified by the personnel of the St. Martin Medical Center that the victim had succumbed to his injuries. The St. Martin Police Force would like to express its condolences to the family of the deceased. And still to come, Member of Parliament Felicia Martin Heiliger wants to know if the Bob Law was ever submitted to the CFATF. You'll have the details to that story and more when SXM Daily News returns.
GEBE has been faithfully serving the communities of St. Martin, powering your home and our economy. Come rain or shine, our qualified team of professionals are working hard 24 hours a day to provide you and your family with safe, reliable electricity and water. We use the latest technologies and test our products daily to maintain the highest international standards. Our friendly staff is always there to assist you, whether in person, over the phone, or online. We are committed to constantly improving our products and services, making them more efficient, effective, and environmentally friendly to serve you better today and our next generation of clients tomorrow. GEBE, powering a brighter future.
Our friend Megawati is here with tips to save you energy. 1. Turn your airco temperature up. 2. Use a ceiling fan instead. 3. Buy energy-saving products. Save some green with NVGEBE.
The police dispatch received several calls on Sunday evening around 11 p.m. concerning a stabbing that took place close to the entrance of the Billy Foley Road. When the patrol and ambulance personnel arrived on the scene, they encountered the victim with the initials OAR, who had received several stab wounds to his chest and abdomen. The victim, who is a manager at Greenhouse Restaurant, was assaulted in the parking lot by an unknown assailant. He was stabbed multiple times and was bleeding profusely. He was treated by the ambulance personnel on the scene by the paramedics and was rushed to the St. Martin Medical Center, where he immediately was operated on. The victim, who is in critical condition, could not give statements to the detectives of what had taken place. During the search for the suspect, the police personnel found and confiscated several items in the area that probably belonged to the suspect. And in more news from the police blotter, police arrest 2 suspected armed robbers. The dispatch center received several calls concerning an armed robbery that took place in Marion Estate on early Saturday morning around 9:30 a.m. On the scene, the police patrol learned that 4 men, all brandishing firearms, arrived at the hotel in at the address in Marion Estate, in 2 vehicles. They stormed into a house and demanded cash from the female resident while threatening her with their firearms. After robbing the victim of cash, the suspects fled the scene and headed towards Cold Bay. Around 12:30 p.m., the police patrol spotted one of the vehicles that was involved in the robbery in the Dutch Quarter area. The suspects were requested to stop, but tried to evade the police, who were attempting to apprehend them. With the assistance from another officer from different departments, the police was successful in arresting the 2 male suspects with the initials LLW and AEL. They were brought to the Phillipsburg police station, where they are being held for questioning. And at the continuation of the Parliament meeting on March 6, 2020, Member of Parliament Grisha Martin Heiliger addressed her concerns about the CFATF, Caribbean Financial Action Task Force, and the proposed brand new penal law. According to the Member of Parliament, she queried if the Bob law was ever submitted to the CFATF.
Was the Bob law ever submitted to CFATF, which, correct me if I'm wrong, covers the recommendations from the CFATF, recommendation number 4, 30, and 31? If yes, what was denied? Was it denied or approved? What was the feedback? If no, explain to me why it's not relevant for the CFATF. Was the CFATF ever informed that our law enforcement had special authorities that can take goods and freeze accounts? In other words, the embargo beslag, the ones that's regulated in Article 119 to 114 of the Penal Code Procedure. Why was that never proposed? Or was it ever proposed? Again, let's talk about the Crown Witness, the hottest topic of discussion. Has the Crown Witness law ever been sent to Raad van Advies for advice? On September 9, 2010, the Netherlands Antilles signed the Palermo Convention Treaty. This, from what I'm gathering, is the Bible for the CFATF. In Article 24, Sub 1, it states that each, and I'm just going to read it quickly, just the first part, each state party shall take appropriate measures within its means to provide effective protection for the potential retaliation or intimidation for witnesses in criminal procedures who give testimonies concerning offense covered by the convention, and as appropriate for their relatives and other persons close to them. So my question is, it's clear. Why is the minister proposing a brand new Crown Witness law so extensive? Why are we adding immunity, payments, protection? Is the minister asking for a free-for-all in the country? Are we asking for a bloodbath? Because, I mean, the last criminal, the last Crown Witness in Holland alone got killed. He didn't get killed. His lawyer got killed. His brother got killed. I mean, does the minister have security in place in funding this new Crown Witness law? Who initially suggested, or whose idea was it to include a Crown Witness law as part of the recommendation, and why?
And still addressing the CFATF issue, Member of Parliament Omar Otley said that he came to vote on the CFATF law. He understands the importance of complying with the CFAT law, but what he doesn't agree with is that the penal code is slipped in and forced for us to agree with it.
Today, I came to vote on the CFATF laws. That is what I came to vote on. I want the public of St. Martin, my colleagues, everyone to know I understand the importance of complying with the CFATF laws. What I do not agree with is that the penal code is slipped in and forced for us to agree with. I am a new parliamentarian. I've sat with those before me and I have asked the question, was it ever asked to separate the two? When was the first time it was asked to separate the two? See, the problem that I have is that this is not democracy. We were voted in by the people of St. Martin. If a law is presented, especially with the importance of a penal code, I believe that we, Parliament, should discuss it, and we have the right to vote if St. Martin needs it or not, because we are the representatives of the people. With this, we have no choice. I was not elected to combat with the media or the radio stations for them putting out every article. Central Bank advises Parliament, if we don't pass the CFATF, we're going to be blacklisted. This article about being blacklisted, or that article. The problem is, did they also say that the head of Central Bank said it is not relevant for the penal code to be intertwined with the FATF laws? That's what needs to be presented to the public. Now, I ran an election on educating the people. So I want to break it down real clear for the listeners. We, the members of Parliament, the newly elected members especially, within 3 weeks, are put in a position where if we don't pass this law, CFATF, we are running the risk of blacklisting the country. I would like to know from the Minister of Justice and his support staff, what comes with blacklisting of St. Martin? What are the repercussions? The problem that I have is that I am a parliamentarian that fully agree that St. Martin needs to comply, but yet I am not a legal expert. So I cannot dissect an entire penal code or penal procedure within a week or two. I refuse to pass something that I do not know about. But now my hands are tied. It's either I shoot myself in the left or the right foot. It's up to me.
And now turning to our weather forecast for March the 10th, 2020. A relatively drier atmosphere across the region will restrict precipitation. Meanwhile, the high-pressure system located northeast of the local area will maintain gentle to moderate winds. Hazardous seas are expected to begin gradually diminishing later today. However, long-period northerly swells are still occurring. Therefore, small craft warning and a high surf advisory remains in effect until tomorrow morning. Small craft operators and sea bathers are advised to avoid open waters. Persons with interests along the coast should exercise extreme caution. Now let's turn to your 3-day forecast. Secretary General of WICSU, PSU, tells teachers that we took a number of things for granted. You'll have the details of that story and more when SXM Daily News returns.
Make use of WIB mobile banking with easy access and direct usage of face recognition, PIN code, or fingerprint. Download WIB mobile banking app and make your transaction from anywhere at any time. For more information, visit wib-bank.net/quick-login.
And in this item from the police report, arrests made at the airport over the weekend. That on Saturday, March the 7th, 3 men were arrested by immigration and Alpha Team. The man with the initials MJD, who came from the Dominican Republic, was arrested at 3 p.m. with a falsified passport from Antigua and Barbuda. Later that same day, the team also arrested 2 men with initials CCD and MS, who came to St. Martin on the flight from Haiti for being in possession of falsified Canadian documents. Then on Sunday, March the 8th, around 4:45 p.m., the team again arrested a man with the initials JWF, who arrived in St. Martin on the flight from Haiti. The suspect was in possession of a falsified Dominican passport. All 4 suspects are now in police custody, where they are being held for questioning. Secretary General of the WICSU, PSU arm, Reginald Bakari Arundel, who was the keynote speaker at the International Women's Day celebrations for teachers on Saturday last, said a number of things we took for granted. There are recurring inequalities, and if it continues, we will become victims of the system. We will now continue with another excerpt from his presentation.
A number of things we took for granted, because if we don't, the potential of these reoccurring inequalities will continue. The things we take for granted today will continue, and if it continues, it means that each one of us will be a potential victim of this system. Are you with me? Yes. We have a number of interesting instruments, the Constitution, SDGs, UN Women, and we can go down the line, all professing, all declaring their commitment to women's rights, correct? Yes. Right? Okay, good. We have the World Bank. We have the CFT. We have Parliament that tells you how often we have elections now? 14 months? Every 10 to 14 months, right? Every 10 to 14 months, they tell you, we want to change things for the better, give me a chance. But the structural deficits still remains. It still remains. I often ask myself, how many women's lives would have been saved if there was enough money in the budget to make sure that there are controllers, to make sure that there are institutions, to make sure there are services, to make sure that there are shelters. I just wonder sometimes how many families would have remained intact if both persons were able to earn a living wage in order to sustain their family. We must not underestimate the impact the labor market has on our social conditions. We must not underestimate the impact that economic policies has on the day-to-day realities of our people. Sisters, this is not about finger pointing. My aunt, Patricia Pantoja, taught me in no uncertain terms, attack the policies that bring about these unequal conditions. Don't go after people, attack the policy. And that's what we must do. That is what we must do. And I make no apologies about this. We are in a situation where the lives of our mothers, our aunts, our sisters are at stake. That's where we are right now.
And still to come, Minister of Health explains COVID-19, says it is a normal flu. You'll have the details of that story and more when SXM Daily News returns.
Hello, St. Martin. My name is Jose Helaga and I play basketball. I have organized basketball events in St. Martin. Sport matters to me because it makes everybody come together in unity. So I challenge the businesses community to step up for sports and help us rebuild and repair our facility. I'm also asking the community to nominate local businesses in your area to take on the challenge and step up for sport because sports matter. Check out the Department of Sports SXM Facebook page for more information. Hashtag Sport Matter, hashtag Are You In?
St. Martin Medical Center is inviting the general public to attend a public session on Thursday, March the 12th at 7 p.m. at the University of St. Martin in observance of World Kidney Day. The session features Dr. Gabe van Essen, St. Martin Medical Center's nephrologist, Dr. Sameh Naderi, St. Martin Medical Center's internist, nurse Georgina Mingo, dialysis nurse and coordinator of the Transatlantic Kidney Transplant Program, Mr. Reginald Williamsberg, Chief Operations Officer of SZV, and Ms. Felicita Williams of the St. Martin Kidney Foundation. They will also be in attendance. Topics for the session include the prevention of the progression of kidney disease, the Transatlantic Kidney Transplant Program, life with a transplanted kidney, and SZV's role in palliative and curative care of kidney failure and disease. At present, St. Martin Medical Center sees about 70 dialysis patients per week. And once a patient is on dialysis, they are on dialysis for the rest of their life or until they receive a successful kidney transplant. Kidney disease is mostly preventable by following a proper diet, exercising, seeking medical advice in a timely manner, and following the advice of your doctor. As the only hospital on the Dutch side of the island, it is our responsibility to educate and empower the general public to make better choices and be more conscious of their health, said St. Martin Medical Center's Medical Director, Dr. Felix Holliday. St. Martin Medical Center encourages everyone to attend the informational session to learn more about kidney health and how to treat and prevent kidney disease. The Medical Center also extends heartfelt gratitude to the sponsors of the event, Nagico Insurances, the Rotary Club of St. Martin, and the Pharmacy Association of St. Martin. And then another item at this time, Minister of Health Pamela Gordon-Carty, speaking at the Council of Ministers press briefing last week, March the 4th, tried to explain to a member of the press the reason why the name of the coronavirus changed to COVID-19. And exactly what is COVID-19? According to the minister, it is just a normal flu.
The only thing with the COVID-19 is that it has more respiratory problems. So if there is the coughing, the sneezing, the normal symptoms that you get when you have a flu, if that is added on to it, the respiratory problem to a certain extent, that makes it become like symptomatic to COVID-19. But it is a normal flu, just in a higher level of sense that you have to take more precautions when it comes to the respiratory avenues that are being blocked.
I'm Valerie Van Putten, and just a reminder that this and other programs are available online. Simply log on to stmartinmediacenter.com for viewing. And on behalf of the SXM Daily News team, we thank you for watching and plan on meeting you right back here again tomorrow.